go.
That is, yes. Now I just gotta turn the mic on and record it. Something you gotta run all over the place.
Everything been in here has been sprayed down and cleaned. And
Show me how to do that, because you have to back you up.
Right off.
Good Lord.
You know what you're doing. Am I in HD tonight?
There we go. And. Recording.
Yep. All right, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We continue to social distance. And I'm going to ask you for a roll call, Kevin. We're going to call it at 6 o'clock.
Michael Cashman.
Present.
Thomas Wood.
Here.
Meg Lefebvre.
Here.
Barbara Hebert.
Here.
Charles Costick. James Coffey is in attendance, and I also. Okay.
Thank you. Resolution 92, approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
Resolved that the minutes of June 4th and 11th, 2020 be approved, and the reading of the minutes be dispensed with.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Wood, is there a second?
Second.
Lefebvre, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor please say aye.
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 Aye, so does carry. Just indicating Chuck is not here. Nothing for I don't see anybody here for public comment, but I do remind the public that even though we are social distancing, we are providing the opportunity for the public to be in attendance using the recommendations of the Clinton County Health Department and following their guidance and directives. So, and we can also remind people that if people want to submit comments, always they can email us, throw a stamp on it, etc. So we'll move forward. Resolution 93, abstract 7A-20.
Resolved that the abstract of audited claims number 7A through 20, 971 through 183 for $202,194.14. Abstract 7A-20A from 154 to 163 prepays for the amount of $40,671.49 be received as reviewed by the audit committee, and the supervisor is hereby authorized to pay said abstract.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
Wood, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Resolution 94 is junkyard license renewal for 28 Flanagan Drive.
Whereas the town clerk has received an application with fees for a license to operate a junkyard business at 28 Flanagan Drive, and whereas Steve Imhoff, code enforcement officer, has completed inspection of the junkyard and the applicant is in compliance, now therefore it is resolved that the town of Plattsburgh Town Board does hereby receive and place on file said application and authorize the town clerk to issue a junkyard license to the aforementioned applicant in compliance with the letter issued by Steve Imhoff, code enforcement officer of the town of Plattsburgh. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the town clerk and the codes department.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Lefebvre, is there a second?
Second.
Wood, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Resolution 95, purchase and site plan return for NCC, System Site Plan 2019.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh Planning Board has reviewed and approved all requirements of the NCC System Site Plan 2019, and whereas the Planning and Community Development Department has coordinated inspection of said project and reports all requirements have been met and completed, therefore be it resolved that the supervisor is hereby authorized and directed to release the deposit in the amount of $1,858.80 plus accrued interest to date, and it is further resolved that a certified copy of this resolution be forwarded by the Planning and Community Development Department Secretary with the return of deposit to TC Holdings LLC.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
Wood, any discussion?
Have you been over there to see it?
I just walked over on the outside of it. I haven't been inside
Okay.
yet though.
It's not ideal time to just pop in on a business.
You know, so, but I'm glad to see that they're like their site work, like the grass
It
and
looks
stuff.
great.
It looks really good on that
Yeah, it
corner.
does.
So, all right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So does carry. Resolution 96, 3% site plan return plan deposit for 2019 for UPS facility.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh Planning Board has reviewed and approved all requirements of the UPS Facility Expansion Site Plan 2019, and whereas the Planning and Community Development Department has coordinated inspection of said project and reports all requirements have been met and completed, therefore be it resolved that the supervisor is hereby authorized and directed to release the deposit in the amount of $39,217.50 plus accrued interest to date. And it is further resolved that a certified copy of this resolution be forwarded by the Planning and Community Development Department Secretary with the return of the deposit to Arcadis US Incorporated.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
LaFave, is there a second?
Second.
Heber, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Resolution 97, highway request for new rotary lift purchase and removal of old lift.
Whereas the town highway department needs a rotary lift equipment to replace the current ground lift. Whereas Tim DeGray, the highway superintendent, has complied with the NYS OGS procurement requirements for acquisition of the completion of the competitive mini bid process executed via the New York State Vehicle Marketplace. Therefore be it resolved to receive a letter dated June 15, 2020. Mr. DeGray requesting permission to purchase one ground lift and close out of exiting in ground lift for unspecified amount.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask about
Yeah.
that. You got that?
I,
You have the. Should be $73,040.81.
41 cents.
No, $73,040.81
Thank you.
from the backup material that I've got. here.
Pursuant to the New York State Office through the General Services Standards and Purchase Group Contract, it is further resolved that the town board does hereby grant permission to Mr. DeBray to order said rotary lift with equipment, and a copy of this resolution be given to the highway superintendent.
I apologize for 1 second. Tim's, do you all have the?
I have the contract quotations.
Yeah, my concern,
I just wanna make sure we confirm that amount.
yeah. My concern is that he broke it down into two segments.
Yeah, there were some separate, prices. Because it is a portable lift, so there's gonna be,
Okay. Reviewing this material, I was looking at 2 pages, so. If this is his letter, his recommendation, so the remediation and closeout of the existing ground lift, would be $9,140. The new portable 4-column lift with 2 additional columns, so 6 total. The truck adapter kit, dollies, include delivery, center training, environmentally friendly, that total is $73,040. So actually the total amount, just did this, is $82,180.81. So, my recommendation for this resolution, just to be on the safe side, would be up to $82,180.
When I talked to him, the total that he told me was, I can't remember exactly, but it was 80-something thousand.
yeah,
Yep.
that included the
Yep,
removal of the,
so, any objection?
No, that's good.
no,
Okay, is there a motion?
So moved.
LaFave, is there a second?
second.
Heber, any discussion? I would just
Well,
say
it's
that,
absolutely needed.
yeah, we talked about this extensively last week about the safety needs and such, so, All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And I know Chuck also supported us, even though
That's
he's
not one you needed a roll call.
What'd you say?
That's not one you needed a roll call.
No.
Resolution 98, annual audit report.
Whereas the town has engaged the firm of EFPR Group, CPAs PC, to perform an audit of the town's financial statements for the year ended December 31st, 2019, and whereas EFPR Group, CPAs PC, performed the audit and has provided the town with an independent auditor's report, financial statements, and required supplementary information, therefore be it resolved that the board accepts the audit report prepared by EFPR Group, CPAs PC, for the year ended December 31st, 2019, and be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Wood, your second.
Second,
Hebert, any discussion?
just need to thank Pat and the team, because this was an interesting audit process to go through, given the fact of COVID-19, and getting materials requested, Zoom meetings and
Yep.
things, they pulled it together, so.
That firm was doing it a lot electronically anyway, the document collection,
So,
but doesn't matter.
all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so does carry. Resolution 99, amendment and appointment of Henry Hale as a member of the Zoning Board of Appeals. Before we go to the reading of the resolution, I wanted to go to committee members. There was a question, I don't want to bring this to the floor tonight if
Mhm.
it's not good to go.
No, thanks for bringing it, we're fine, with the due diligence and background paperwork as far as previous resolutions. We just wanted to make sure that the correct date.
Yep, that's fine, before we move forward, I didn't want to go down the path and then take it off and then
I know.
and stuff like that, so,
Tom, do you
This is
concur?
corrected.
You concur?
This corrects the.
Yes.
okay. We'll move forward with the amendment of the appointment of Henry Hale as the member of the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Whereas Resolution 15-243 appointed Mr. Hale as a member on the town board, zoning board of appeals for a term to expire December 31st, 2019, and whereas local law number 1 of 1999 has a term of 5 years, therefore be it resolved that as per local law number 1 of 1999, the town board does hereby correct the appointment of Henry Hale to the zoning board of appeals for a term to expire December 31st, 2020, and be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to Mr. Hale and to Steve Imhoff, department head.
Thank you. Motion?
So moved.
Wood, is there a second?
Seconded.
Hebert, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Resolution 100, MOU with the Clinton County Health Department.
Whereas an MOU, memorandum of understanding, is necessary to establish a framework of collaboration between the town and county, and whereas the town of Plattsburgh will receive a $5,000 Healthy Neighborhoods Initiative Grant Award, now therefore be it resolved that the town board does hereby authorize the town supervisor to sign a memorandum of understanding with the Clinton County Health Department to utilize the 5,000 HNI grant award, and be it further resolved that the town board does hereby authorize the town in the amount of $5,000 to be used to enhance and/or activation of spaces for physical activity in the town of Plattsburgh parks. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the Recreation and Youth Services Director and the Finance.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
LaFave, is there a second?
Second.
Wood, any discussion?
Is this for something that's already earmarked, or that was already, like collected,
It's basically for the mats under the, yeah.
and the mulch?
All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So carries. Thank you. Resolution 101, adopt an implementing of the 2020 handbook for the town of Plattsburgh employees.
Whereas Resolution 19-203 authorized the town to engage services of Ronnie M. Travers of Public Sector HR Consultants LLC, and whereas the town has received a copy of the proposed 2020 employee handbook for town of Plattsburgh employees, therefore be it resolved, subject to review by the town attorney, that the supervisor be authorized to accept the town of Plattsburgh employee handbook, and be it further resolved that a copy of new town of Plattsburgh handbook, employee handbooks be given to each employee to have, and the acknowledgement placed in each personnel file.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
LaFave, is there a second?
Seconded.
Hebert, I just want to add a couple of footnotes on this for context. This is a project that we've been working on for a long time. COVID-19 slowed some stuff down, but I am really, really happy about where we stand with this project. We've had an employee handbook for a while, but as I've stated before, now that Ronnie Travers, or the public secretary HR consultant, is working with us, the big thing that we wanted to do is to make sure that the language in this employee handbook was married with the advice and the format that she is working on. Language is critical, you know, for these types of things. And what we will begin to do is, throughout next week, we'll begin the distribution part of it. It will take a couple of days. We will give employees the opportunity to have access to the handbook. The idea is that you don't give it to them and say, now sign the slip, right? So we want, you know, a kind of a review period of such. The book will then be in different formats. There'll be print versions, there'll be on what's often referred to as the S drive, an electronic version, and then we'll keep a couple versions in print in like the situation room and etc. So I just want to put that context there for folks.
New employees, the whole the handbook, the actual
Correct.
Yes.
copy, right?
Well, either that or electronically. So
Whichever they want.
and again, there's various. I mean, it's you've seen it. It's about 80
Yeah.
pages. So, but one of the offshoots to this, which I'm really excited about, Tom, and I think it goes to kind of the heart of the question you're talking about, is we're going to be formatting a employee orientation program. I don't anticipate us hiring anybody, you know, anytime in the foreseeable future, but we do want to have an onboarding experience that goes over policies and procedures, etc. And there's a number of other things that we want to just kind of recapture. So this is the beginning. There may be adjustments in the policies and procedures which will require addendums. And then this also is a living, breathing document from the standpoint of we may find that there's something in this book that's not working. Okay, it's not a solve-all, which means that we make adjustments, and it will be reviewed on an annual basis, not at the same level. Okay, but this should be a good thing.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to say it's a comprehensive document, and just knowing that Ronnie and her team worked on it really makes me feel confident that we're delivering something that's going to be effective for employees. And the onboarding
Yes.
procedures that are being developed are really,
And this is the time to do it rather than, you're right, we're not hiring anybody, but this is a good time to really get that going and lay the foundation, rather than when we start hiring people and we can't keep up with.
Absolutely, you know, and consistency is key for, you know, collecting and putting this stuff together.
exactly.
We went through the salary recalibration. What we, as a board, have committed to doing is updating policies and procedures, going through meticulously to do trainings and a variety of other things. So there's more work to be done. Let's be really honest about this. This isn't in response to particular activity. We're being proactive in our approach to human resources. So, and Chuck also wanted to say that he endorsed his support for this tonight. So, all right.
And I'm really glad that we're gonna be reviewing it annually. I think we need to have a checklist of things that we need to review annually, so that we, you know, this board and other boards know, here, you should look at this to see if anything changed.
Michael, with Ronnie's constitution and Jim, is this something that we only is done once when they receive this, or is it done annually? Should it be done annually? Could it be done?
My understanding, Barb, is that it's done really once.
Once, okay.
So because, and the access to that document is continuous.
Yeah.
If there's an update, often an addendum
Yes.
acknowledgement
Yes.
follows suit. So if we
Okay.
add, say FEMLA changed, then there would be a copy of that would be given to them, then an acknowledgement form for that particular adjustment. So, okay.
Okay.
Frankly, we've done it in the past, but keep it up.
All those in favor, please, actually, I'm gonna ask for a
Individual
roll
roll
call,
call.
I'm gonna ask for a roll
Yeah.
call on this.
Thomas Wood,
Yes,
Meg LaFave,
Yes,
Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Michael Cash.
Yes, so does Carrie, thank you very much. Resolution 102, 2020 through 2022, non-union employee, and it's not an agreement, it's a policy, so I'm just making that adjustment on the fly.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh and its non-union employees entered into an agreement regarding their terms and conditions of employment, and whereas parties to said agreement are desirous of entering into a new agreement that has been agreed upon by the town of Plattsburgh and the non-union employees as indicated by the agreement attached and dated effective 1/1/2020 with an expiration date of 12/31/22. Now therefore be it resolved that the supervisor and the members of the town board be and hereby are authorized to execute said agreement between the non-union employees in the town of Plattsburgh on behalf of the town of Plattsburgh. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution and the executed agreement be given to the finance committee.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
Moved. Any discussion?
Did you say this is policy or agreement?
It's
Policy.
It's a policy.
And if that change could be reflected everywhere it says agreement.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It would be
Yeah.
appropriate.
Yep, that's what I was going through.
And it's
So-
certainly parallel to what we're doing with the
Yep.
handbook, that it's a companion. I'm glad that we, moving this forward, because I think it's a companion piece to
Yeah.
our new handbook and keeping in line with
The one thing that, that
The handbooks,
there was only one question, and I have it out to Ronnie just as an FYI, was the bereavement category. We'll make sure that whatever was agreed to on the non-union
Okay.
policy will be reflected to make sure that there's an overlap, if there is any
And they-
difference. Yeah.
but the handbook also states that this policy overrides
Right.
if there's ever a question,
Right. Yep.
as well as the teachers.
it would supersede the.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, and the difference, and for those, for clarity, they are a non-negotiating unit, so that's why it's a policy.
Yeah.
We have, in good faith for a number of years, had members of the board consult, with, our team members to have a conversation about what's working, what's not working, but it is a policy, okay?
So, just so I'm sure this, when you read this, the agreement, the word agreement is policy?
Yes,
All the way
it'll be struck and it will be said, it'll say policy, that's correct. Yep,
In every place.
yep,
Right.
yep, okay, can I get a roll call, please?
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Meg LaFave,
Yes.
Barbara Hebert.
Yes.
Michael Cash.
Yes, and while he's not here, he did communicate with me, Chuck also endorsed, this, and I wanna thank, both Meg and Chuck and Jim, for their work on this. They've been on it for a long time, and they've, done some good work, so thank
It's
you.
another one of the things that COVID really,
Yeah,
Yes, it's a,
but our team members who worked on this with us stuck with it.
before I ask for, or consider a motion to go into executive session, I do wanna give just a very brief update, in particular for people that may be following home, COVID-related, things. Town hall continues to remain open for service. We are asking people to wear masks. We're continuing to do good business, but we are providing the opportunity for Zoom meetings, et cetera. The planning board and ZBA, are seeing lots of activity and interest, which is a good thing, even though that the world is changing. I wanna point out, for some clarification, and, thanks for Meg for calling today, I was gonna cover this. The governor has passed, an executive order that, really puts for lack of a better term, a travel ban of sorts on hotspots, okay? And there's a metrics that is used. One of the states, for example, is Florida. There's many more now. And, if an employee were to self-select, meaning that they chose to go to one of these knowingly, then they will not be eligible for, sick leave and various things. They'll have to use their own time, and et cetera. It's important to note that, because previous executive orders had said that if an individual were to get COVID-19, that they would be eligible for various sick leave. That has been communicated to the employees with the updated COVID-19 response for the town. I sent all of you a copy of that as well. That's number 11 on the action plan now, just as a heads up. the point of clarification that we have received is, say someone leaves today and goes to the fine state of, I don't think Iowa's on there, so we'll use Iowa, and they go to Iowa, and then midweek, you know, it becomes it changes the dynamic, okay? So I just want to be really clear about that, and we have put the onus on the employees that they need to basically check before they leave, okay? I gave a sense of it. That list was not exhaustive, but we're reminding people that they need to have that responsibility.
Is there anything that states anything about flights, or you might catch it?
No, because an individual can still fly. Flying is not restricted. If you're going to a hot zone, that's a different type of situation altogether. So just wanted to provide that clarity, and we'll, I'm sure more things will be updated. The last thing that I wanted to tell you is Assemblyman Jones, Chairman Mark Henry from the Clinton County Ledge, Gary Douglas, and some business owners at the mall held a press conference this week, and we have been advocating that we become a pilot. And the reason I say that is the mall here is not at the same size, for example, as the Sunrise Mall down in Massapequa. I mean, it's sheer difference in size and scale. We've also believed that we're learning some information that they may actually have some of the systems in place already that the governor is requiring of malls. So what we're asking is the state to
Like
give,
air filtration
yes,
systems?
early consideration as they do this, because we actually have a lot of local business owners in the mall. A lot of times we think of big box stores, and there are big box stores anchoring it, but we have a lot of small business owners like a hair salon, like, a bookstore, etc. So I just share that with you because as we continue to move through the phases, we're also trying to be responsible for public health, but we're also advocating for fairness, along the way. So just a heads up. Okay?
And we have to wait until this until it opens.
Yes, hence why my locks of love are not cut yet in solidarity with the folks. So, all right, I would accept a motion to go into an executive session to discuss the ongoing pending litigation with the city of Plattsburgh related to Falcon Seaboard or Saranac Power, and to discuss the specific work history of 5 employees. Is there a motion to the effect?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
Wood, is there, no, I'm going to roll call. Can I get a roll call, please?
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Meg LaFave,
Yes.
Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Michael Cash.
Yes, we will go into executive session at 6:28 p.m. and give Kevin an opportunity to shut down the equipment, and I'm gonna pull in the
And-
signs from outside.
And
Okay.
we're not necessarily going to take any action.
We are not gonna take any action.
Thank you, Kevin.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you. You guys have a
Have a
great
good
weekend.
weekend, Kevin.
Yeah, you too.